welcome back or welcome to my channel. I'm Jay, and before we get started with today's video, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. So today we need to talk about one of the absolute funniest, weirdest, and most chaotic moments in history. Okay, modern history. Every single year when May rolls around or June, corporate America undergoes a magical transformation. Major retail companies look at the calendar, realize June is coming up, and sprint to slap a rainbow on literally everything they own. Everything. Anyway, for a long time, this is just standard, boring corporate routine. You go into Target, you buy your regular snacks, you pass a shirt that says live, laugh, lesbian, right next to the frozen pizzas. It's just a standard retail capitalism. That word. Um, but but, there's a but. I know. It's, so it's just like standard retail capitalism. Um, right? Hopefully. But recently, this peaceful suburban shopping utopia completely shattered, okay? Target went from being a quiet place where you go to buy a notebook and leave spending $200 to an absolute cultural war zone. I'm talking about fully grown adults walking into retail stores, setting up their smartphones on tripods, and filming themselves having a complete and utter emotional meltdown over a piece of spandex. Okay, we had grown men and women screaming at teenage cashiers, making minimum wage aggressively, just like me, trampling clothes displays, and knocking over their cardboard signs like they were fighting in a literal medieval holy war. Online, it turned into a giant circus of wild conspiracy theories and a highly coordinated boycott campaign. What started as people yelling into their front-facing cameras in their cars quickly escalated into a real-world intimidation. Okay, we don't like real-world intimidation. It's not fun. Police deployments and actual bomb threats against multiple stores. Today we are breaking down the absolute of a great Target Pride meltdown and how a retail store known for soccer moms became the ultimate target of extreme internet outrage. Okay? Yeah. Okay, to fully appreciate the level of pure brain rot involved in the story, we have to look at what Target was actually selling versus the internet claims they were selling. Okay, every year Target pulls out a Pride collection. We love it. Most of it's completely harmless, aggressively millennial cringe. We're talking about rainbow socks, equality mugs, and dog chew toys shaped with a pride flag or penis. You didn't hear that from me. It's not exactly it is not exactly high level political activism, but the main catalyst for the absolute meltdown centered on a specific line of adult swimwear. They were marketed as tuck friendly swimsuits featuring extra panels of fabric designed for transgender individuals. Almost immediately, self-appointed internet detectives and outraged influencers started posting videos holding up these swimsuits, looking visibly terrified, and claiming that they're actively marketing trans gear to toddlers. The claim was completely, undeniably 100% false. The swimsuits were exclusively available in adult sizes. They were located strictly in the adult clothing section. You had to actively walk past the kids' toys, past the children's shoes, all the way to the women's department to even find them. There were no toddler-sized custom swimsuits. It literally did not exist. Like, it's not giving. But in the ecosystem of social media algorithms, facts didn't get views. Okay? They never have. When the fuck has facts ever gotten views? Okay? Outrage does. The narrative was set instantly. Millions of people convinced themselves that Target was running a secret high-level operation to groom children via swimwear. Hold up. I I've been playing with slime the whole time. Uh, to make matters even funnier, internet sleuths, sorry, started digging into the personal Instagram page of one of the independent designers. Okay, Target hired for a few items in the collection. They scrolled back months into his personal art page and found some older, completely unrelated artwork that was a cool imagery. Completely unrelated artwork that was a cool imagery and sacral slogans like Satan respects pronouns. I love that shirt. Even though the actual items sold at Target were just basic tote bags and pastel sweaters. Pure religious imagery. The internet absolutely lost its mind. Within 48 hours, church groups and online commenters were claiming that Target wasn't just progressive, they were pulling a literal satanic agenda on American people. People were generally convinced that the red bullseye logo was a secret portal to hell, and that buying a pair of shorts at Target meant you were signing away your soul. It's shorts. Okay. Okay. So this is where the situation shifted from standard internet complaining into actual dangerous real world behavior. This wasn't a peaceful boycott where people simply chose to shop at Walmart instead. It turned into a targeted campaign of physical intimidation directed at brick and mortar stores, and specifically at the poor retail employees working inside them. Okay, people started entering Target stores across the country for the sole purpose of starting a confrontation for clout. I hate confrontations. They would walk right up to the pride displays in front of English. They would walk right up to the pride displays at the front of the store. Okay, film themselves ripping down flags, trampling shirts on the floor, and shouting religious slogans at the ceiling. Then they would take those videos, upload them to TikTok or X or some shit like that for likes, and go harass whoever happened to be working the cash registers. I feel so bad for them. Think about the position this put the workers in. Okay, you have retail employees making $15 an hour, completely untrained in dealing with politically moved civil I know English, definitely. Untrained in dealing with politically motivated civil unrest, being forced to stand there and absorb intense personal abuse. Okay, customers would bring random items up to guest services desk just to slam their fist down and tell the cashiers they were going to hell for scanning a rainbow bag. Like, bro, the situation grew so volatile that the law enforcement had to be called multiple locations across several states because stores were receiving active bomb threats over the merchandise. It was just rainbows, bro. The sales floor had officially became a fun line for internet culture wars, all because adults couldn't handle seeing a rainbow in public. That's just stupid. As the crisis spiraled out of control, Target corporate quarters did what every giant corporation did when things got real. They completely panicked. Okay, they issued an emergency statement saying they were making immediate adjustments to their plans, which was really shitty, out of concern for the safety and well-being of their team members. In many southern and rural locations, managers were ordered to completely dismantle the prominent front of store pride displays and move whatever was left to the very back of the store. Okay, usually like right next to the restrooms or the electronics department, something like that. Um, I also pulled the most controversial designer items off the shelves and removed them from their website entirely, which is really fucking shitty. By doing this, Target's leadership thought they were being tactical. They believed that if they just hit the rainbows, the angry mobs would go away. Instead, they managed to align an but absolutely everyone, to the extremist groups leading the protests. Target's retreat was seen as massive victory. It proved that intimidation and aggressive behavior actually worked. They realized that if you make enough noise, cause a massive scene in public, and threaten a company's stock price, corporate America will immediately buckle. On the flip side, the LGBTQ plus community and civil rights organizations viewed Target's decision as a massive betrayal by capitulating to extremist demands. Target basically signaled that the safety and visibility of queer people were completely negotiable the moment things got uncomfortable or impacted corporate profits. Target caught themselves in a classic corporate trap, leaving them completely isolated and disliked by both sides. Okay, it is incredibly important to realize that this entire backlash was not just random, spontaneous outbursts of public anger. Okay, was a highly organized, top-down campaign driven by political commenters and digital influencers who knew exactly how to generate outrage for personal profit and political capital. Okay, accounts with millions of followers spent weeks hyper focusing on Target and I don't know English today. Amplifying false claims about children's clothes. Finally, also yours for sure. Think I like it. If you know, you know. About children's clothes and encouraging people to go out and record confrontations. They openly talked about giving Target the Bud Light treatment, okay, referring to the massive financial hit Anheuser-Busch, definitely know how to say that, took just weeks prior over a single social media post with a transgender influencer, Rogan Magic. The people orchestrating these campaigns realized that modern corporations are fundamentally cowardly. If they can create a high enough level of reputational and financial risk, a company will always prioritize self preservation over its stated corporate values. The ultimate goal wasn't just to get a Target stop selling a specific swimsuit. It was created to rebuttal, and I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It was created to repeatable blueprint to erase LGBTQ plus visibility from public spaces entirely, um, by making it too expensive and dangerous for any businesses to support them. And financially, the blueprint worked. In the weeks following the start of the boycott, Target's stock price dropped significantly, wiping out billions of dollars in market value. When the company reported its quarterly earnings for that year, sales had dropped by over 5%, marking Target's first quarterly sales decline in 6 years. While retail analysts pointed out that inflation and shifting consumer spending habits played a huge role, the cultural narrative was already locked in. The anti-pride campaign took full credit for the drop, proving that corporate rainbow allyship, that's exactly the stark that's exactly until the stock market opened. Okay, so the long-term repercussions of this controversy became completely obvious the very next year. When the next Pride cycle came around, Target officially announced that collection would be significantly scaled back. The merchandise was only placed in about half of its 2,000 stores nationwide, about 1,000 stores, completely avoiding rural and conservative areas. In the stores that did carry it, its displays were incredibly modest and tucked away into regular clothing aisles instead of greeting customers at the front doors. Target claimed this was just a data-driven retail decision based on consumer demands, but everyone knew the real reason. It was a permanent retreat. Okay, the aggressive tactics had successfully redefined a standard corporate civil rights acknowledgement to a toxic high risk political statement. And this ripple effect English, Jay. And this ripple effect extended far beyond just Target, across corporate America. The era of loud, proud, purpose-driven marketing started grinding to a halt. One by one, major American brands began quietly scaling back their public celebration of Heritage Month, dismantling diversity programs, and increasing strict memos telling executives to avoid commenting on social issues altogether. The retail wars proved that modern purpose-driven marketing was entirely hollow. It was a strategy built for fair weather, operating under the assumption that taking a stand was a low risk to get positive H. Oh, taking a stand was a low risk way to get positive PR from younger customers. Okay. The moment the cost of holding these values became a multi-billion-dollar drop in valuation and real threats to store safety, corporate America proved it didn't actually have a spine, it just had a marketing budget. In the end, the entire controversy was never really about a swimsuit or a tote bag. The merchandise was just a canvas onto which a deeply polarized society projected its anger and political agendas. In trying to please everyone and find a middle ground where absolutely none existed, Target exposed the empty core of corporate idealism, leaving behind a stark reminder that true social progress is never won in the holy shit, never won in the aisles of a department store. Okay, so really, they were just being homophobic bitches, which was really stupid. I am queer. If you didn't know, how did you not know? Yeah, so I thought. Anyway, that is all for today's video, guys. Okay, it honestly blows my mind how far adults will go over literally nothing. Okay, like let me know in the comments below what you thought about this whole Target madness. Did your local store hide their displays too during this time? Anyway, don't forget to share this video with a friend who needs a good laugh or needs to think about what actual homophobia is and really need you to a friend that needs their eyes to be opened about all this homophobic shit that's happening. And yes, I know this probably wasn't that recent at all, but like, fuck you. Actually, no, I love you, babies. Anyway, smash that like button if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe so you never miss another upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Love you.